Hello there, Eternal. This is Skinless, Guildier for Eternal Alliance, coming back at you with another one of these Phase 1 SM battles. Now, as known, I've done this with Magna Guard and GBA. This time, I'm going to go ahead and run it with Wat Tambor. Now, not everyone has Wat, so my other two videos I'll go ahead and link. They're a little easier to see. Here from modding, Newt Gunray, still gear 12. I just will go ahead and make him a little faster, give him the 327 speed. That's really what matters mostly for him, is going to be his speed, so he can get all of his extras out there. My Wat Tambor is pretty fast here, but he doesn't have to be all that. I mean, it's better if he's faster, specifically for this, but when you're looking at like someone like B1, your physical offense is really what matters the most. Making sure that's pretty high there, since his protection and health doesn't matter, since he just has the stacks. And I got my gear 12 here for my B2. Now he's not exactly super crazy modded. I just want potency on him for the most part, a little bit extra protection. And then Druidica definitely does not need to be gear 13. R1. I specifically go for offense and his protection pool here. So this can definitely be done with all gear 12 units. I just happen to have the couple at gear 13, specifically based upon other game modes I've needed them for. So as is tradition, we can go ahead here, and we're going to go ahead and instead of applying the shield there to Magna Guard as you normally would, or like the Brute, we're going to go ahead and give it to Druidica, since he's going to go ahead and be able to regenerate that protection pool up quite well. Always going ahead and healing whatever unit is going to be the lowest. I go ahead and give him the initial roll. I figure that works well, as I eventually go back and will start, setting him up for being able to do his massive hits. So really the ideal here, as usual, is going to be the matter of ensuring you get your extortion out where you need to, and then healing up your units as you need to. So I go ahead and give the, as you saw earlier, the weapon tech to B1, since he's your damage dealer. And then Wat is here basically so that you can go ahead and revive a unit if needed, if anything dies. So that's kind of the benefit of having him here. Granted, he's not necessarily my favorite combo for this, but he is an easy one to use if you have him at 7-star already. Not everyone has him, so that's kind of why this is the third video that I've gone ahead and kind of done. So once again, I'm going ahead and applying my extortion there, which kind of ends up, debilitating the rest of the team, and then really just kind of sets yourself up for success, especially if they go ahead and they actually do the payout for it, so they give you the buffs that are associated with that. So very, very easy to run through this here. I always focus down, as usual, on the medics to make sure that they're not going to be healing, and then I usually go after like the clone sergeants, so that way they're not given the AoEs, followed by the ARC troopers and things along that line. So now we've got Shock T here. So Shock, you always want to get that extortion on her as soon as possible. And then as you kind of go through here, go ahead and start working on your medic. I tend to save Shock actually for one of the almost kind of later in a way. Like I use the abilities that aren't hitting her directly. Like I'm not going to attack her necessarily right out the boat, but like these AoEs seem to work. But if I had to use like a basic, that would kind of not necessarily be ideal. So getting her and medic out of the way is going to be your best move here, as she's going to be healing everyone up along with your medic. So you also don't want to get that offense up that she's giving. So that buff immunity that you're getting from B2 is absolutely essential. So kind of just trying to knock her down along with your medic. Now if you do happen to take down Shock T first, always make sure that you do have your medic under control, so that way you aren't in a spot where the medic then comes back and revives Shock T. That's just an absolute nightmare situation. But that's the cool thing with Wat, is that if you have the weapon tech applied, if the unit that has weapon tech on it kills the unit, they cannot be revived. So that is a bonus there. So we're going ahead and removing some of the debuffs and just kind of working our way through still. It's kind of opportunity to possibly take down Shock here. So I'm going to go ahead and apply more of the extortion. Now I need to really focus on the medic, so that way I can make sure that no one else is, has that chance to revive if B1 did not get that initial kill. So Pretty easy here. Now that's the one bonus I will say for having Wat Tambor on this team, is that if you do get the Shock T lineup, it's a lot easier to necessarily manage. However, I do find that the Magna Guard system works just as well, which again I've got linked here in the video. So just kind of walking through the rest of it, saving up my cooldowns by using basics here. So the only one that gets the kind of always refresh is that B1 special. So that's the one special you do want to use, but otherwise just use your basics here to go ahead and make sure your cooldowns are ready to go as you go into that 4th phase. So now we're going to go ahead and pop in here. We got Mace Windu. So usually you want to go ahead and control Mace Windu right off the bat, especially because we don't have a medic here. Mace Windu and the Arc Trooper are kind of my 2 main concerns. Ayla Secura is annoying because she has that consistent counter, but she's still very manageable. Whereas with Arc, he's going to keep on boosting the enemy's stats by giving him that command, that extra. That extra buff that they're getting there. So going ahead and continue to heal up my units, trying to get around that taunt. So you can go ahead and remove that there by using the 3rd special. Even if Extortion is not on the tune, it just goes ahead and removes the debuffs. So just kind of working our way around the field, removing the next taunt if we can. And hopefully, yep, there we go. Then we got the buff immunity there, so that helps things out as far as moving forward. At that point, I went ahead and just kind of started focusing down that Clone Trooper, and then continued to heal. Just because he was already down on health, I figured it was going to be an easier one just to go ahead and get him out of the way. And that's always nice when you have more enemy units out of the way. It makes it easier to continue to control the field as with any of the other game modes. So nothing really out of the ordinary here. Again, this is probably the easiest formation in that most people will say for this, but once again, if you don't have Wat, well, it doesn't really do much for you. He's really there just to give that tech and then to give the revives as needed if you've got lower units. So I definitely recommend making him healthy and fast if you can. And again, he can work just fine at gear 12, honestly. Just so you've got that threshold of the 16,500 for per unit. So I hope this video was informative and helps out my series here. I've got one other video to make for the Phase 1 SM as far as for units go. But like, subscribe if you like my content, reach me on Discord. And as always, I do appreciate all my viewers and continue to make progress on this in the future. And Skinless is out.